Welcome to Savvy Up, the complimentary self-defense course that comes with a book. The purpose of this self-defense course is to quickly teach you an instinctive and reflex skill in case someone's trying to attack you. Okay, now what you can see from the video you're watching now, this is how violent people attack people. They get close to them. That's the first thing they do. And when they're close enough, they lash out. They lash out with their fists, with a weapon, or worst of all, with a headbutt. And that's why the number one rule in self-defense always has to be create distance. You have to create distance. Even if you're an experienced martial artist, I've been doing martial arts for 40 years, it makes no difference. If I allow someone into my space, then I cannot control that situation. I cannot react quick enough if someone's in my space, as you've just seen from these people here, that they've been attacked because they ignored that number one rule of just not backing up. Okay, so in this micro lesson today, I'm going to be showing you how to back up with confidence and also stability. And then in the next micro session, I'm going to show you how to fight back. So hopefully you've read the books so you understand the mindset we're working with here. We're trying to create a neural pathway in the mind similar. If someone puts a rancid smell under your nose, your instant reflex is to pull your head back away from that smell. It's the same principle. You smell, they smell. We all smell. And hopefully you understand why we smell, obviously because the release of cortisol and adrenaline, our sweat glands create that kind of thing. But of course, it's not really about that. It's just trying to create that mental bridge in your mind as to why. As soon as that person steps into your area, you naturally, like the rancid smell, you back up and create space, okay? So let's practice that. We're going to show you how to do that now. It's very simple. It needs to be simple because we want to do it quickly, we want it to become natural, we want it to become an instinctive reflex. Okay, so from natural position, I'm just going to raise my hands up here, just gently up here, and then when I reach my chest, I'm just going to push out like this, but at the same time, I'm going to step back like this, okay? This is what we call in our Warrior Up program, the Fortress Ready position. And it is a mental concept as well as a physical concept, because we're trying to say to ourselves mentally that no one ever comes into this area. If they do come to this area, then we move the area back, okay? And if they continue to come to this area, then we use our techniques to do what we need to do and defend ourselves, okay? But it's a mental concept as well, that no one gets into this area. So once again, I'll show you. Now, just a point to note, I am right-handed, so naturally I go back with my right leg. And the way we go back on our right leg is to just slightly from this natural position here, just put a little bit of weight onto my left to use that to push back, okay? So that's what we're doing very naturally. In that moment of someone even jumping into your space, you may not have time, but the principle's still the same. A little bit of a shift in weight to your left side to drive back here, okay? Now, of course, if you are left-handed, you're going to probably want to do it on the other side. So a little bit of shift onto the right side to drive back my left foot. The same principle, the hands are coming up and pushing out. That firm, assertive, get back motion is very, very important because it's showing that potential attacker that you are not vulnerable, you are assertive, you are powerful. It's also, and this is a crucial thing mentioned in the book, it's showing any CCTV cameras, any potential witnesses that you're the one backing up and trying to keep that violent person at bay. Okay, you've done your bit. You've made distance, said, look, I don't want any trouble, keep away, okay? In the book, we talk about back off bluffs. Remember, that's very useful. It plants that seed of doubt in that person's mind. So if I back up, go back off, mate, I'm an ex-Royal Marine. You don't want to mess with me, right? That plants two things in that person's head. First, I'm a highly skilled fighter. Second, there's an emotive point there as well. I'm an ex-Royal Marine. I've served my country. I've looked after this country. I've served you. You're trying to attack me now. Okay, so that kind of puts that person in the mindset, you know, ex-Royal Marine, it's going to be hard as nails. And also, he's put his life on his line for my country. I should let him be. Okay, that's the mindset behind it. Now, I am not an ex-Royal Marine. I'm just using that as an example. And it's wrong to walk around and say, I'm this, I'm that, in normal circumstances. What we're trying to do here is deal with violence, okay? And when it comes to dealing with violence, everything should be available. If you've got to pick something up, whatever you need to do, you need to do. And that includes maybe saying something, back off, mate, I'm a professional boxing coach. Whatever you need to say, you need to say. Maybe if you're a woman, you might want to say something different. Back off, just come back from a Thai kickboxing camp, you really don't want to mess with me. Okay, this kind of thing, it doesn't matter what you say, as long as you say it confidently and convincingly. That will plant the seed of doubt. And also, the most important words, back off. Legally, you're now well within your means. If that person does continue to attack, you have the right to what we call preemptive strike. I'll talk more about that in the next micro segment. But let's go through that again. I'll do it on my right side and my left side, in case you're right or left-handed. Okay, so I'll do it from this angle here. Very simple, raising the hands up, a little bit of weight onto my left side as I drive back like this. Okay. Now the distance I drive back is up to me. You know, if it's really someone's jumped out the shadows, I might be, whoa, back off. Okay. If it's just someone stepping in, maybe they're asking directions, I might be a little bit more natural here. I might just step back like this. Okay. The main thing is I'm driving back. And notice what I've done here. Instead of this very kind of big motion of here, back off, which I still think is fine. If you're a little bit embarrassed about doing that and you maybe think it's not that much of a dangerous situation, you might just step back like this, okay? And this position here is what we call a relaxed pretense stance, because you look relaxed, but you're actually you're ready to go if you need to. You're all ready to drive your elbows in and stuff like that. So you can use this, okay? And of course, if you want to be a bit more lighter with the language you use, you might say, back off, mate, stay back, I'm just getting over COVID. I don't want to give you my germs. This is very useful. It's the only one good thing to come out of COVID, that you now have a reason to keep distance from people. Okay? And sometimes you get those close talkers. They might have a hearing disorder, so they step in a little bit too close. And there could be no malice intent whatsoever, but we still need to keep our distance from those people as well. Because nowadays, unfortunately, we have an increased rate of mental health issues. And unfortunately, that means there's a lot of people out there that are very unpredictable and sometimes violent. So we need to also just kind of keep back from those people as well. Okay? Now, the other thing I need to point out, as I'm driving back, I'm not just kind of narrowing my stance like this. I'm bringing the hands up, driving back, and trying to keep my same shoulder width stance. We'll talk more about this in the next micro session. But it's important to have this here because I've got reasonable stability from the front, back, and a little bit from the side, okay? This is quite common as a boxing stance as well. That's why it's very stable and very versatile. You can move very quickly on it once you've had a bit of practice. But the main thing is to have this shoulder width. I always think train tracks. You're on the train tracks, okay? You are a locomotive. No one's getting past you. You're on your train tracks. So when you move forward, you stay on the tracks. When you move backwards, you stay on the tracks. The same thing, left-handed people, bring your hands up, a little bit of weight to your side here, your right side here, and then just drive back like that. Same thing, on the train track, shoulder width stance, hands out there nice and firm, nice and assertive, in control of your fortress. No one is going to come near you, okay? So let's practice that 2 times of what we call play speed. And that means going very, very slow. Okay, I'll show you. Okay. So the first one is 1, I raise up and I just step back like that. Okay, feel myself, feel the train tracks, feel my hands like that, feeling my stable stance, just so I'm getting used to it. Okay, so we do that at play speed, we call this. 1, 2. Now we're going to do it twice at half speed. 1, 2. Now we do it twice at full speed, whatever speed you can go for now. Obviously, the more you practice this, the more natural it can come. It's already probably quite natural for most of you anyway. You know, stepping back isn't a new concept, but the idea is to step back with some authority and with some technique and stability in particular. So 1, 2. Great, so that is the #1 self-defense rule. Without this, anything else you learn in the future about defending yourself is going to be pointless. You should just never ever let anyone get close to you, especially for a woman late at night. There's absolutely no reason, other than a bad reason, to approach a woman late at night. He doesn't need directions. You know, you shouldn't rely on a lone woman late at night to ask directions. So if a man does come into your area late at night and step, you definitely want to get back. And if he says to you, oh, you okay? Yeah, I know how to defend myself. You shouldn't be coming up to me late at night. Please keep your distance. Okay, so you're able to be that assertive with your communication. Hopefully most men now realise that in this day and age we cannot approach a lone woman on her own late at night, even if we do need directions. It's just not on. Okay, and if we do, hopefully we get this. You know, we see a confident woman knowing that she can control the distance around her. Okay? So in the next micro lesson we're going to move on to protecting our head even more and retaliating with powerful strikes. I'll see you then.